Hey guys, this is a new video and I just wanted to let you in a little bit more into my life and where my brother Zach is going to come into this video and ask me questions. I'm going to ask him questions later, but this will give you a view on where he feels my transition is going and how I want to know how he's feeling. This is Zach. He's going to tell a little bit about himself.
Alright, I am the youngest of four. I'm 16. I'm a junior in high school.
So this is going to be the kickstart to this YouTube channel. So here we go. I'm going to ask him a question, and he's going to ask me a question. So the first one I had for him, we pre-wrote them down. So if I look at my phone, it's all the questions. Do you know what transgender is?
For the most part, I probably do know what it means. Because, I mean, I've been living with you for like
16 years.
16 years, yeah. And then you transitioned 2 years ago?
Yes.
If I'm not mistaken. But yeah, I have a pretty good understanding of what it means.
What do you feel like transgender means in this household? Because, I mean, society will say this is transgender, these people are transgender, but what do you feel transgender is when people mention me?
Well, I feel like society has like a bunch of different opinions on transgender, so I mean, you don't really want to put that with our family because we're pretty open-minded. Like, I'm sure my parents didn't care when he said that he wanted to become transgender. I'm sure they were pretty fine about it, and I'm fine about it now.
Do you remember when I told you I was trans?
I do.
How did I tell you?
We were headed to Grandma's house. We just passed half-price books because we always make a joke about the half-price bookstore. So then, right as soon as we passed it, we were talking, and he said, "How did you feel if I became transgender, and did you know what I mean?" I'm like, "Yeah." I mean, I didn't really care, and that's what I said. I just said I didn't care.
That's
I was fine
literally
with it.
what he said. Yes.
I'm happy with whatever you have, or whatever you want to do, because it is your life. And you live your life how you want.
There was a slight pause of silence in the car that I remember. It was
Well, because we did have to like think about it. We did have to like comprehend.
Yeah, I never like.
You were still a girl at the time, and if I remember, you said you were already taking tea for like a week prior to that. So I mean, it's not like we really had a say in it.
Oh yeah, true.
But
I didn't remember that. But yeah, that's true. I was already a week on tea. Weird. Okay, yeah, that's true. I was a week on tea when I told him. It was me and my mom and him and his brother in the car on the way to Mass. And all of a sudden, we kind of just had that vibe in the car, like this is the time to tell them. So that's when I thought, maybe we should tell them now. And it's kind of a long drive to our grandma's house, so they had a little while to like comprehend it. So I don't know why I decided to tell them in the car.
okay.
He came up with some of these, so that's why we're switching them back and forth. But I wrote them on my phone.
All right. So question one: do you think you've grown to love yourself more than you used to?
Yes, definitely. When I used to think I was okay with myself, I really wasn't. I was more of, society has put me in this position to be a girl, to act like a girl, and I didn't fit into that. So when I started T, my whole life changed, and that's when it became amazing to where I started seeing facial hair grow, muscle distribute evenly. I just saw all the changes, and it just made me like 10 times more happier.
Question number two: do you feel like you have to do guy things, like etc., like lifting, fishing, or just trying to act like a guy?
Like the boy role?
Yeah, like trying to act like a guy.
At first, I did. At first, when I started T, it was more of maybe I should lower my voice on my own and talk really deep. And then I still didn't have any facial hair, so I looked like a girl. An ugly girl, because it was like I had short hair for a guy. Yeah, like this. If we can zoom in on this. I was heavier than what I am right now. Like this grossness. I was just bigger back then, and it was maybe because I was unhappy, but I was lazy too at the same time. But the question was, do I feel more of to be in a boy role? Back then, yes. Now, no. I just be me, and I pass as is. If I didn't tell you guys that I was trans in these videos, you probably wouldn't have known, unless you know me since back then. But yeah, so right now, no, because I'm just being me.
Question number 3, do you think society is pushing you to become a transgender? Like, when you first were online, do you think you wanted to become transgender just because of other people were doing it?
No. Society had really no say in who I was. The only thing that kind of transitioned me to say I was transgender, female to male, was a friend that I met like a year, almost a year ago. He started on T because he was transgender too. When I figured out what he was going through and what he was feeling, I connected that to what I was feeling, and that's really what started it all. Everything he thought, I was thinking the same thing. Everything he felt uncomfortable with, I felt the same way. So it just clicked, and that's how I knew. So it just took him to come in my life at that time to switch things around for me. So thank you, and you know who you are. How do you feel when people ask about me to you?
That's a good question.
And I don't know any of his answers to any of these. We just wrote them down, and we had no time, and we came downstairs to tape. So this is first time he's hearing anything.
Usually my closer friends already know that I have a transgender sister, so they know that he's a guy now, and his name is Aaron. But people who don't know and who ask, at first it's kind of awkward, because when people would come up to me and say, hey, because they've probably found out about it from another person or one of my friends, but they'd come up to me and say, hey, is your sister transgender? And I said, yeah, and his name is Aaron. But I mean, I should tell him straight up, because I'm not going to say he's not, because that's obviously not the thing to do at this kind of thing.
Yeah.
Other than that, it's not too bad when people ask me. It's fine. I'm pretty open-minded. I don't judge.
When somebody would ask you, hey, is your sister trans? And you would say yes. But
yeah, I'd say yeah right off the bat, because I don't want to lie, because why would I lie? If he's comfortable with who he is, then I should be comfortable around him. So,
right.
I should just be straight out.
No pun intended. Oh. What are the physical changes and emotional changes you noticed about me? Emotional changes. Have you noticed anything from pre-T to now?
T, I really, I'm gonna be honest, I really didn't, I wasn't too fond of you. Cause pre-T, you were pretty, you got agitated, aggressive, agitated, really annoying. If I did anything to you to, frustrate you, you'd get really mad. But now, right now, you're fine. You've grown through it. So now it's back to normal with you and me, so.
Right.
And then, hair-wise and everything.
Or physical changes
physical
now.
Change. You look like a dude.
So, at first, when I started getting, a little peach fuzz, how'd you feel about that? Is that when it kind of,
I remember you used to tell me that you were going to have more facial hair than me, and at the time.
Yeah.
And I never thought that happened. But it did, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, I haven't shaved this or any of this since November of last year.
But this takes me about 2 months to grow.
Right.
I don't even think you can probably see it on the camera.
Right.
Maybe.
But he's got a little bit right here, and right here. He could outgrow if he just let it grow, but he doesn't.
I don't know, because I look dirty.
But I do look dirty right now, but it'll get cleaned up. I just want to see how long it'll grow within the year of not shaving.
Do you think mom and dad ever picked up on you becoming transgender, like later on life?
Pre-T, mom and dad didn't know what transgender really was. And then when I started kind of like reaching out and kind of getting into my own skin, I kind of hinted at them, but they weren't really picking it up. A little bit later, I kind of jokingly told my mom that I was a boy, and it was just in a joking fashion, so she didn't really take me seriously. But to me, that was me like saying it to her really fast. But now, transitioning after my first shot, that's when it kind of like kicked into their head that, okay, this is really happening. So my first shot was like the start of everything.
Do you believe you are who you are for a reason?
Yes. I don't know if you follow this, but I believed I followed it since I've kind of grown fond of it. I believe in everything happens for a reason. Even if it's like the worst thing to happen to you, like...
Yeah, it happens for a reason.
Yeah, it's happening for a reason. So me being who I was to who I am is 10 times better. So I believe I had to go through the hard times, the struggles, the terrible nights, and just a lot of terrible things, and some really good things. Like, good things did happen. Like, I did get my letter to be on T. I did go to therapy and talk it out for a couple months to get that letter, so I had to do that. And now, a year later, I'm happier than where I was.
Well, this is one that I just made off the top of my head, but what made you click into making things a reality? Like, I'm sure you were probably researching a lot about transgender and everything, but like, what made you finally decide that this is going to happen to you? Like, this is what you want?
Meeting my friend. The first time that I met him, I talked more to him, and I just kind of found out where he was at, and I clicked with that vibe. He already knew what transgender was, and I didn't, so I was getting information from him. I did my research, I looked into it, and it just made sense, because I was just not who I was supposed to be. And when I found out he was who he was, or is, I wanted to also be just as happy. Is there anything you miss when I was pre-T?
Not really, because you, like, I don't know how to say it.
So you like
you
me like better now?
Yeah, I guess I could say that. I can't really remember how you were back then because I see you as who you are now.
So no.
I don't know.
That's okay.
No.
It's kind of like how you guys were younger, and I didn't really like you guys because you were so, like... Annoying, and, like, you're my brothers. But I didn't feel like your older brother. I felt like your older sister, but I couldn't relate to you guys, but I could internally. But you guys were just too young to understand. That's what made us wait to tell them when they were a little bit older. You're 16?
16.
He's 16, and I only told him 2 years ago that I was trans, and I'm 23. So,
and then you told me you were gay in 7th grade.
Yeah, I told him.
It was pretty late.
Yeah, but
that was weird.
It's because they were so young, and I didn't want them to get like picked on, or you know how bullying goes in younger schools. I didn't want that to happen to them so young. So this is our question video, whatever you want to call it, but I just thought it'd be cool to have another point of view in this video so you guys could see. If you have any questions for Zach or me, leave them, message me.
And put them in the comments below.
Yeah. And if you like these videos with my brother, I'll get my other brother and my sister and maybe my parents and maybe some more of my family into these videos, or friends, whoever you'd like to see. Just let me know and we will make a collab.
All you gotta do is thumbs up this video.
True. And I'll leave you a link to my last video in the description box.
Or maybe even a subscribe.
Yeah.
Would be pretty good too.
Alright guys, so that's the end of our video, and I do have a GoFundMe page. Link is in the description below. It's for my top surgery. My second goal is to get top surgery either within a year or with the year coming. The new year. So that's it. So if you can spare $1 or spare that extra pop you're about to buy or that piece of gum, or you're just gonna throw me $1, that's cool too. So links in the description. Like this video, subscribe, and we'll see you later.